Has Harry and Meghan seen the last of Netflix and that big money spinning deal? You know, the one that, when you think about it, he sat down in front of Oprah Winfrey and famously said, actually, I would never have signed on for it if we didn't need the money because I was cut off financially. A middle-aged man, of course, cut off financially by his father. And so he had to do something. Netflix came knocking and then he decided, well, why not? Well, as you can imagine, things move a little bit rockier a few years down the line with the Heart of Invictus bombing and of course the alleged forthcoming polo show, and more importantly now Meghan's cookery show, literally not exactly starting a fire in the ratings so far. What's next for that particular duo? Let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. Nice to have your company. Netflix, you know, is a very big company, but it's not as easy as people think because even they struggle with the financial constraints of making television. It's very, very difficult. Streaming giants are doing well. They're making indents, of course, into the world of cinema. That's why we've seen so many cinemas closing over the last few years. But it's what you put in front of the public, and the public decide, because unlike over here in the United Kingdom, where we have very much the British tax of the BBC TV license fee, well, people do make a choice whether they want Hulu, Disney, Paramount Plus, Netflix, so many to choose from, and suddenly you're paying, right? Now, obviously when Harry and Meghan signed on to Netflix, people thought this is going to be great. And of course they had a big success with their docu-series, but not half as big as Victoria Beckham and David Beckham did. And that's really what's made the eyeballs water for Netflix, because they spent all of this money on Harry and Meghan thinking this was going to be a global event, as the famous poster said, and it hasn't been. So what's happening? Well, as you know, Ted was ridiculed at that award ceremony. That is, of course, Ted, the boss of Netflix. And he was ridiculed because, of course, it seems that he's paid a lot of money for a couple of dufters, you know, grifters, whatever you want to call them. Meghan's insisting, of course, that her show will be groundbreaking and many people will want to tune in. That could be delusional, as many people realise. But the idea, and let me tell you this first and foremost, is simply this, that Netflix won't be just demising of Harry and Meghan from the company. What will happen is, very strategically, they will be, well, let go on a case-by-case basis. And what I mean by that is, the deal will not be renewed at the mega money that they got. And they didn't get all that money. You know, let me explain that very clearly. They didn't. Whatever they want to say, that didn't happen. What happens is this. Once they decide that the deal's expired, they will say they're too busy to commit, and there'll be a sort of friendly media PR sort of stance of, you know, they wish them well, they're free to look at other options, and we'll always welcome them in the Netflix family. You get the picture. What will happen is, if they will pursue and make more and more of course, their docu-series, an update of what's happened since the last one, then yes, they may pay for that. But that will be a case-by-case basis once it's been viewed. So technically, when the deal runs dry, and this is the deal that will just dry up, then they will be dumped from that. But the more important thing is this, that yes, in order to save face on both sides, because nobody wants to admit that they've booked a duff deal, do they? Then they can say, well, no, what we'll do is, if you've got something that we like the look of and you are ready to share it with us, or maybe make a pilot, then we will continue. As ever, we have to say allegedly. And that's exactly how the Netflix deal will simply fade away without too much fanfare. Hope I've made that very clear. Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.